So this is Craftsynth using the Craftsynth app, and then some apps on my iPad. This is really nice because it's a good portable setup. So right now I just have the Craftsynth going through some delay and stuff. There's no second filter or anything, and you can see what's happening with the breath control mapping. So filter cutoff is at 0, but it opens and closes with breath. The amount of breath going to the filter is about 32. And then on the depth, that's really the one that changes how the attack is. See, if you have it up high, then you get that bump on the attack, which I don't like, but I had it at -1, whatever. That seemed to be about the magic number, right around 0. I'm not doing anything with the filter envelope. And you look at this one. This is kind of a funky one. There's a little bit more of a attack thing happening to get the quack on there. Cutoff is still the same. Resonance is cranked way up, maybe even a little too high. So if you don't like it quite as sharp, you can adjust that. You're not going to get a 0 attack on this one. I don't know if it'll. You can't. If you dial it down, you can. So that actually works pretty good. It's really touchy. That'll work. Actually, I like that better. I'll probably just save it real quick. There we go. And if you want to see what's going on with the effects, that's an AUM. So here's the delay. And again, that's all just the filter of the Craftsynth. So it's actually pretty expressive with breath once you figure out that the envelope depth is the real key to dialing it in. So on this one, I don't have as much breath. Probably with the resonance, since I turned the resonance down, I can probably give it a little more bandwidth in terms of the breath pressure. And that's another one of those ones you could thicken it up with a little chorus. I probably have a chorus in here, don't I? Like most people, I tend to, I guess I don't. I tend to have the same effects configurations a lot. So I would usually have a chorus in here. Actually, I could drop one in real easy. And then I would have and this is just the basic chorus plugin. There's not a lot. It's free. Blamsoft 0 chorus. They have a bunch of free ones, and I like it because it. Ooh, that's nice. That's just enough chorusing to thicken it up without changing it too much. So the other thing I do a lot with this Craftsynth, and I talked about the init patch yesterday, so let me show you what that looks like. If I can get it to open, there get my boom microphone in the way. It's hard to touch the So the init patch is basically wide open. Nothing going on in the attack. Although through the chorus it actually sounds pretty nice. But then the fun is when you bring in the Moog Filtertron app. And then use that to open and close the filter. And I honestly think that the Moog filter just adds so much character with the CRAFTsynth. It could be another filter. I could use the F16, or I could use the Bleach filter. But it depends on how much kind of grittiness and funkiness and graininess you want in there. But I think the Moog Filtertron app filter probably is maybe one of the best sounding ladder filters that I use, and it's not even AUV3 or anything. It's an old app. It's been around forever. I think it's like $7.99 or something, but it just sounds good. It's a little quirky, mapping breath to it. Where's the breath controls in here? You have to go into the MIDI, and then this is where it's mapped. And then I actually use, and I haven't shown this until just now, but I use MIDI flow because what I'm doing is I'm scaling the amount of breath that's going to the filter a little bit. So, okay, so here's what I'm doing. Like what I was talking about with the ladder filter in Windows on Voltage Modular. I have 0 through 127 breath pressure, but then when I scale it, I'm going from 13 to 118. So it doesn't start at 0, and it does you know, cut off, or it stops increasing it a little short of the maximum range, and there's a reason for that. It's just once you get to a certain point, it doesn't really help the sound any. So when you watch the cutoff, it's not starting at the very beginning. It doesn't quite open all the way. It's got most of the range in here, but it is a little bit scaled, so that does seem to work good. And that's kind of what I'm doing. And what I like is having a setup like this where I can switch the filter. I do the same exact thing I'm doing in Cantabile and Windows. You can switch the filter in and out of the signal path, so you're either using the changing my patch. You're either using the CRAFTsynth without the external filter, and you do lose a little bit of the gritty quality when you use the chorus, but it's not a bad thing. I scrolled it up and I can't scroll it back down. Come on, there we go. And then you add in the Filtertron app. So it kind of goes from being a nice bright saw, almost kind of Oberheim sounding, to like a cat. And that's basically how I have it set up.